So as we begin, let's allow ourselves just to kind of take a few deep breaths. As you inhale, inhale softly into your body. As you inhale, allow the air, the energy to touch other parts of your body, allowing the exhale to release whatever doesn't serve you anymore. Just allowing yourself uniquely to slow down, become a little bit more present. Allowing your ears to open a little bit more so you can hear the words more deeply, but allowing your heart to especially open to feel the vibration of the words that will come through. What I am sensing at this point, what seems to be a light being, a light body walking towards me, getting closer to me, with many, many beings behind this light body. I can't really tell if it's female or male in our sense of the word, but it's wanting to merge with me. I've been asked to speak to you directly. You might not realize that you have asked me to do this, but there is a spirit within you. There is your higher soul that wishes to connect. And what I have to share with you today is mostly a reminder of what you already know, if you can remember this. So I will begin by sharing with you two particular words that, of course, in a third dimensional sense have been defined for you, and what you have somewhat believed in is that definition. We wish to expand on that. The first word is center, and the second word is freedom. Now, as we discuss center with you, there is that sense of the center of your body, the center of the earth, the center of the galaxy, the center of an atom, the center of a circle, the center of your neutrality, And these, of course, are all definitions. The center of most things has been described for you by various other entities, as far as scientists, as far as even religion, as far as a place to go, is to travel to center of a country, to understand that we are going to take it past that. We are going to discuss the center based on a more, let's call it a module basis, the center of a third dimensional and fourth dimensional appearance of a center, as opposed to what might look like to you a two-dimensional drawing or a map or something that's conceived in your mind, which has a hard time conceptually seeing anything past even a third dimensional reality. So when we wish to talk to you about a center, we wish for you to have a vision of a sphere in front of you. And obviously that sphere has a kind of a way of looking at a filling. So if you took a sphere, you looked at a ball, and you could see within the ball, you might envision a center, a point in the middle of the circle or the sphere where it's equidistant from all aspects of that sphere. Now, if you were to look at that in a visual way, you could also expand that to look at a sphere that is around you. So if you were to look at a sphere that is around your physical body, it would be from the tip of your head to the bottom of your feet. If you were to place your arm straight out left and straight out right, the sphere would also touch the tips of your fingers, going below your feet and above your head. And so you can envision this sphere around you. Now, if you were to envision that, where would the center be? What point within that sphere that is surrounding you, where would you imagine that that point would come to? And we would suggest that that point would come to just below your belly button. The mystery schools looked at that point as a very strong chi energy point, where everything would come from there and go into there and come out of there into the sphere. In some respects, this is correct. However, it is not the main connection that takes place within the sphere in your connection to the universe, to everything that is outside of you, inside of you, from the highest point, the most distant point, to the distant point within you, as above, so below, as you've heard. Of course, that point, that connection, that cord is through your heart space. Each one of the chakras that is in your physical body that go up and down your physical body is a sphere. So the sphere has a center point. There's a center point in each chakra, which allows there to be a vibration that comes in and out of that chakra. And sometimes, if it's done in a mental way as opposed to a feeling way, it can reverse the chakra vibration that goes within that circle, causing there to be an imbalance that's within that circle. And we'll go over that later. To understand that within that sphere, there is rotations that take place. There's rotations that go on outside the sphere, of course, along the sphere's edge, which you can feel in your physical body. And if you were to take, again, a vision of a ball and rub your finger on one side of the ball, it would cause a vibration to go throughout the rest of the sphere, outside of the sphere, on its edge, you might say, causing there to be a disruption. If you rub the ball at the exact point, opposite point through the center of the ball with another finger, and the fingers were to rub at the same time, there would be a balance that would take place. For in opposite directions, go inward and cause a neutrality, if you will, or a feeling of balance. There is what is called the circle of opposites. Tomei has used this phrase with one other person just recently in looking at the circle of opposites. And we will go back to that shortly as well. Anything that goes on the circle itself, on the diameter, is a little different than just one-sided. If everything is going on one side of the sphere, then it's unbalanced. There must be balance brought back to it, which then would logically take place on the direct opposite side of the sphere, where the other part is being moved or vibrated. Coming back to the center is the work. Coming back to the neutrality to be able to observe and not be driven by what's going on the outside of the sphere. You can look at your life the same way, understanding that your life could be a bubble. And on the outside of the sphere of that bubble, there are many, many things happening. If you place yourself into the center of that bubble and watch and observe outside without judgment, then you can experience fully what is going on, bringing it into your experience, your journey, if you will, without judgment. Of course, if there is judgment, then you might say you're being overwhelmed by what's going on. You're being encased by what's going on in the outside. And to be able to heal yourself, you must find the direct opposite of that to bring balance into your system. Unfortunately, for most souls that are on the earth, they come in first to find out the imbalance of things, and later on possibly work on balancing things back out again. And you might say, well, things in this dimension, this third dimension of this earth, seem to be very negatively vibrated. And there would be some truth to that, but we don't like to use negative or positive. There is either low vibration or high vibration. The low vibration is very dense, as you know. The high vibration has a lot more frequency to it, balancing off the low vibration. So when you first come into this lifetime, and for quite a while it seems, you are stuck in this low vibratory pattern. To be able to balance that off, you must release it and find a higher vibration pattern to balance things off. And once you do, you learn how to master yourself and walk your walk without judgment, experiencing all things with no judgment. Once that takes place, you are walking in balance. You are walking in neutrality. You can observe fully what's going on and bring into your heart the feelings that are present. You also begin to notice the vibratory patterns of other people, of other situations. You can notice how that imbalance is being played out in front of you, which doesn't mean you try and fix it or change it, but you certainly can feel it. And if something or someone were to ask you to assist them, you could feel it fully if you stay in the neutrality place, if you stay in the observing place. Everything in all dimensions, everything is based upon this premise. Everything has a sacred geometric pattern to it. So if you were to look at the bubble, if you were even to look at your own bubble around you, within that perfect circle, because in its equidistance in its own perfection, within that circle is every single sacred geometric pattern that exists everywhere. Anything from a pyramid to a dodecahedron, and especially in the star tetrahedron. You have heard of the star tetrahedron, and you know that the vibration of the star tetrahedron goes in opposite directions from the middle, going up and down. For one pyramid goes one way, and the other pyramid below goes another way. And in its spin, as it goes around, it presents a perfect balance within the center. This is what you have available to you within your own bubble. And some of you have worked diligently to feel this, to feel that vibration, to feel the spin in different directions. And in some cases, you might even see it out of the corner of your eye. You might be with your star tetrahedron and actually see what appears to be a spinning motion below you and above you. This is your tool. This is your gift. You can heal yourself in many ways with this understanding. In some ways, it's scientific, but then in another way, it does have a spiritual, mystical way of looking at things because it is not necessarily seen. And in your scientific community, they wish to have to see it to believe it. Yet it is there all the same. Just as they know there is some force between all things, there is something that also is a gift to each one of you that allows you to go deeper and deeper inside yourself to present more of an observation tool to be able to make better choices, to have clearer, more clarity and clearer opportunities for choices that you make and a deeper awareness of what's going on around you. In that state, truth is seen and felt. It is not mentally conceived. It is felt. Your intuitive abilities, because of this spinning motion of the star tetrahedron, become in concert with the universe. You're able to hear things, see things, feel things in ways unbeknownst to you before. It can be quite shocking sometimes, almost shaking your head and saying that must not be true. That couldn't have happened. It must have been just sheer luck. There is no luck. There is choice of being in the center, being aware. We've talked many times now about being present, being in silence. The center point within that bubble is pure silence, pure. Yet it holds everything of the universe. It holds everything of the all. It is the center point of all things. So now if we can take that conception, if you will, of that bubble and go to the tiniest of places, going deep into your cells, for instance, even into the atoms, even deeper, and understand that each particular particle has its own bubble, has its own center of balance. And when things around it on that bubble are out of balance, it doesn't vibrate at a very high place. We would get back, if we were to be remiss, we go back to when that balance has occurred. And in almost 100% of the time, it's due to the stress levels that you provide your own self. It's not judgment. It just is a fact that the lower frequencies of stresses that you bring into your cellular structure, into that bubble arena, if you will, hit a certain part of that circle or that bubble and cause it to be out of balance. And to be able to heal yourself, you must find the opposite, of course. We would say to you that, of course, the ego that you have, the mental conceptions that you have, the training that has taken place in the programs that have driven you for most of your life, cause an enormous amount of low density stresses that you bring into your system. When the awareness of this situation occurs, you start recognizing for yourself that those things just do not serve you any longer. It is a unique awareness for each individual soul. It's also a unique awareness on how you will shift it and change it. There is no special formula that can be given out so that everyone can just follow the numbers. Each individual soul was placed on this planet to uniquely experience the journey within themselves, thus providing more of a growth of consciousness throughout not only this third dimensional plane that you live on, but also in the many planes that are throughout the universe, going up into the thousands of different dimensions that are available. So to say that you as an individual, as you see yourself separated from the whole, don't make a difference would be a complete lie. That it's quite the opposite, that as you change yourself within yourself, you project out a frequency that is close to spirit, each time getting closer and closer, spinning your star tetrahedron more and more, allowing yourself to heal from past situations, current situations, and even allowing yourself to be more present for any, let's say, future type situations that might occur. Because in doing what you're doing in the present moment, you provide yourself that opportunity to be more of the observer, to be more present in the moment, which then as things develop in front of you, around you, you are able to be really present and aware of those situations and know what is best for all. Not what is best for yourself, of course, but what is best for all. And this becomes an instantaneous situation. There isn't a thought that comes to it. It is a pure experiential feeling, a moment that happens, and an automatic choice is made that flows perfectly for that unique soul, for all that is around, to provide a consciousness of balance, sometimes of understanding. Now, as you know, through the work you've done in some of the mystery schools and the workshops, which now are not open any longer, quite frankly, because the mystery school is you. You know this to be true, that the more you work on this, the more insights, the more your systems become higher frequency. You start recognizing those things that do not serve you any longer. The judgments become very few. They still appear because you're still here. You're still in the third dimensional realm, of course, trying to find ways to balance off your bubble, trying to find ways to stay in that center. You're consistently, on an everyday basis in your time frame, being pulled by distractions to become unbalanced. But my spirits, every time you notice that and pull yourself back, you have now changed what is going on drastically in the universe. Every time you have a choice to judge, and you do judge, and you become aware that you judge, and you change the vibration of that judgment, you now have become a spiritual alchemist because you have changed the vibration that you've accepted into a higher vibration and brought balance to the situation. It's not necessary to know exactly how that's taking place. It's not necessary to let others or the situation know that that's what you've done. In fact, with humility, you take a step back and smile and realize that that has just taken place. The ego wants to take credit. The ego wants to let others know what you've done. It would say to you that that is judgment in itself. And that would have to be balanced off. So you see, as long as you're here, the ego has a way which you have created for yourself. It has a very sneaky way of trying to get under everything that you do to keep you out of rhythm, to keep you out of that balanced place. Yet you have your tool. You can feel within your own body, physical, ethereal. You can feel both, and you can sense both when you're out of balance. You know when you're out of balance. Many of you have been testing yourself in this same arena in a different way. You have looked at your physical body and know when your physical body is out of balance. And each person's physical body is different than the other. So once again, there is no true definition on how to do everything. There is a huge misconception in the spiritual community that says you shouldn't be eating meat, or you shouldn't be eating certain vegetables, or you shouldn't be eating certain plants that are grown through certain seeds and so on. And we say to you, when you balance within your own body, your center, your ethereal body, you will know through your intuition what to eat on a moment's notice. But if you were to judge yourself in that moment, then you accept the low frequency that is available in that very food, as opposed to not judging the food, but taking in the high frequencies that are available in that food. Because even something that has been seeded through your Monsanto, as you know, which is very scary for most of you, there is source within it. You will cancel out the low frequency by providing balance to what it goes into your body. Now, that's pretty far out for most of you. But in the very, very near future, and we mean in the very near future, as many of you start living off of energy as opposed to physical food, and judging physical food, but feeling the energy, the sensations of what comes into your body, things will shift, things will change. It's the same as when you take in various ultraviolet colors, when you take in various smells and fragrances. One fragrance for one spirit has a unique uplifting feeling, and for another spirit, it doesn't bring that same uplifting feeling. So each body, each sensing capability of each unique soul provides them the healing and the balance that is necessary in that moment to walk in a more observing type balanced place, more of an awareness, more of a being present. And as you continue to work towards this and understand it for yourself, there is an internal feeling that takes place as well. The feeling of being uniquely in balance, and we mean uniquely in balance, feeling spirit within your heart in a very, very high frequency balanced place. Many of you know this. In fact, there isn't anybody on this planet that hasn't felt that already. You call it sometimes being in the zone. You know when you're in the zone. It seems as though nature provides you that opportunity many times once you go outside and feel what is around you. Various animals bring you into the zone. Various nature scenes and opportunities bring you into the zone of feeling that unique vibration. The only way that you can feel that unique vibration is that you already have it inside. It is not something that it's being provided to you from the outside. You already have it inside. And you are allowing the vibration that you are connecting to bring that out for you. Being in this balanced place provides a unique opportunity. And we wish to bring it out even further. The unique opportunity is a freedom, a sense of freedom, a sense of feeling all things with no fear. A freedom even when the darkest of moments is present, you're able to be with it without judgment and allow it to be what it is, bringing balance to it as well, and experiencing everything it has to show you to bring a higher consciousness to your soul. Every single spirit on this planet has a different sense of that. Unfortunately, on the planet still, many egos wish to have you fall in line into various ways of seeing things and feeling things and judging things and knowing. Yet within your own body and your own sense, and we say your own body, your own ethereal body, you have all the answers already. You have all the feelings already. And as you walk your walk, if you so choose, you will begin to open these up more and more. You will run into people that you never have before, being able to feel and sense their vibrations, doing your best not to judge them, but to just feel how either they're out of balance or they're in balance. That's available to you if you're coming from your heart without judgment, which is very difficult, as we know, to do on this planet. But yet the freedom is available to you, not because it's outside of you, because once you do the work, then all of a sudden you'll be free. The freedom is already there. There is no, let's say, striving to go outside of yourself to find it, because it's already there. It's within your spirit. It can be found within your ethereal body when your physical body is connected to your ethereal body. When the various chakra vortex units within your ethereal body are connected with your physical body, spinning in a clockwise way, the sphere must spin in a clockwise way, beginning to feel within that sphere the balance of the opening of that center to allow the energies to come in, to feel them in the unique way that you feel them. The mystery schools that you have attended, whether you were on the planet or high up, the various places you went to, the temples that were in a different dimension that you have visited, especially in your dreams, to work on those things to help you find your balance. have showed you the balance that can take place by allowing your mental, your physical, your emotional, and ethereal bodies to become in balance. Physically, it has been a very tough journey for many of you. To be able to find balance there first must be attained, if you will, which means there is a lot of releasing that has to take place. Releasing of how things were supposed to be, definitions of how you're supposed to be, things you're supposed to eat, ways you're supposed to judge, ways you're supposed to see. If you were to take all your five senses that you were given, there is a supposed to be for each sense. Once you walk away from those supposed to be's and open the cavern that is available to you of gifts that each sense actually brings you, there starts to become a balance of all those senses and how they're being used with your ethereal body to go deeper into the senses and the gifts of your spirit that are available to you in concert with the five senses, raising the other senses in your ethereal body into your intuition, into your feeling experiential body, which begins to change everything. You start to feel energies, vibrations of everything that's around you. And for some of you, you know it's been very scary at first. But as you become more comfortable with it, there tends to be this sense of humility that comes with everything. It's the opposite of what the ego wishes there to be. You might say the ego would wish for you to show everybody else what you can do. And yet the spirit part of you, the serving part of you, allows things to come to you, to be present with, to take you deeper and deeper in your service with any situation or any person, let's say, that's in front of you. There is not the definition, of course, of freedom that comes from that, but the feeling and sensation of freedom. That you are way more than what you have been told you are. That you hold within yourself the unique capabilities that can take you anywhere you wish to go. Those decisions, those choices, become heartfelt choices. They become in balance with your chakra system through the intuition and feeling of those unique choices that become available. One of the greatest gifts that comes from that is patience. It is a quality that mastership holds for you, is to be patient with how things develop, where the ego wants things to happen now, right now. Through your patience and humility, a trust is developed, and it's a feeling of trust, as if you're in the right spot at the right time almost all the time. And it's all within this bubble. It's all within the center. When you're off center, it's very difficult to feel these things, to sense these things. When you're on center, it's amazing what you see and what you feel. This third dimensional world that you live in wants you to stay off center. The reason it's created to do that is to bring you back to your truth. there has been somewhat of a story within the spiritual community that says the lower in density you go, the higher in vibration you go. Well, isn't there a truth to that? Because on the opposite side of the sphere, there's low density on one side, and then the balance of it's on the other side. So there must be a balance that takes place. So when you're in your lowest moment, let's say, in your darkest moment, can you call upon your heart to assist you to find your way back to the highest place? Yes, you can call upon us to assist you, but we cannot get in your way. We cannot walk your journey for you. We might provide other avenues that bring you even darker, to push you, to wake you up. It's a gift. It might not seem like one, but it is a gift. It's the gift to show you that you have more than you feel or see, that you're capable of way more than you feel or see. Know within this bubble, and this bubble is perfection outside of you, which you cannot see, but you certainly can sense it. It is always there. It never leaves. If you were to take a moment just right now and sense it for yourself, feel it all around you. You can place your hands outside of you and sense the edges of it. You don't have to stretch your arms very far, but you just place your arms outside of you. And for the very tip of the last finger, can you not get a sense of energy? Can you not feel the energy of the tip of the finger? That is the edge of your bubble. Can you not feel the edge around your head? The top of your head. Can you not feel it at the base of your feet? Can you not sense it out in front of you? Can you not feel the energy that's inside the bubble? That is all around you. Can you touch your heart and feel the sensations of the heart, where all the energy seems to flow in and out of? Can you place your hands just below your belly button? Call this the sacral chakra. Can you just feel the energy there? This is your center. This is all available to you at any given moment. The more you allow yourself to observe without judgment, you are using all these unique places at the same time. Your heart uses the creativity uses the higher mind, and all things work in concert. Once balance is there and no judgment is present. Healing becomes commonplace. We wish to come back to that, like we said, because healing isn't necessarily just a physical property. We wish to speak about the overall healing of the ethereal body and the physical body. the various bodies, the physical, the emotional, spiritual. To heal all bodies takes work. And as you have found on your own, and there seems to be this overall place for each spirit, is that the emotional body is the most difficult place to heal. For the vibrations there are strong. The stresses turn into feelings. The experiences that are around you, that come at you, that you feel deeply, they turn into emotions. And those emotions trap themselves within your emotional body. And as many of you know, the way to release them is to allow yourself to be with that emotion instead of being scared of that emotion. And as you know, there is some fear that is always surrounding it. And the fear is what holds you back. The mental body is basically built up, as you know, through definitions. And you continue to gain in those definitions as you go about your path. You've learned very well how to define things, for it makes you feel safer when you know what they're defined as. But of course, that limits things. And the more that you can get away from definition, the more that you can get away from this is the way things have to be, that will open up the heart more. That shows you an opportunity, the infinite possibilities that are available to you, as opposed to the limitations of how you define things. Once you define things, then all of a sudden, you physically walk through them. And through that physical opportunity, the feelings of what's going on then become developed, and the emotional body then solidifies the definition of what it is that has happened. In the work within yourself, you know that between the mental and the physical, it's not such a difficult process to understand. But how to release the emotions becomes the most difficult. Yet that is where the work is. And once that is released, that opens the door finally to the spiritual body. And the spiritual body, which has been controlled by mental definitions and physical and emotion definitions, shifts and becomes an open door in the center of your bubble to begin the process of being in the present moment and experiencing all things just as they are. This was the work of all the mystery schools. This is the work you have continued to do in your dreams as you visit those places. And now it's time for you to own the work you've done. Now it's time for you to recognize the energies that are coming into the planet. And those energies are opening up doors for people that they never saw coming. You saw them coming. You've been working diligently to release those things that don't serve you any longer, placing yourself in a unique position, not a higher position, but a unique position of being in humility, in patience, in trust, understanding that each individual spirit has to walk their own walk and how they do things. And you now are in a position to serve if they so ask you, if they connect with you, because you can feel them because of the work that you've done on yourself. The energy that is coming into the planet presently is causing people, all these spirits that are here, to look at their expectations. There is a huge expectation vibration that is here. You might feel it and wonder what's been going on, because there's an expectations of how things should be spiritually. There's an expectation as where you should be at this point. There's an expectation that I should make more money or less money, or whatever expectations you wish to put on other things has been heightened. If you watch what's going on just in your own newscast, there's an expectation, a heightened expectation of how things are and how they're expected to be. Expectation provides judgment. You might say it's the ultimate of the ending of expectation, is a judgment placed upon whatever the situations are, which drives you deeper into a lower density of vibration. If one spirit can hold on to their balance and neutrality, they can see through these things for what they are, not judging them, but knowing what is going on to keep themselves in a place of neutrality, which then gets projected out. We have also told you in the past that one soul, one spirit that finds this place of neutrality and balance within their own bubble can project energy that holds energy for as much as 1,000,000 other spirits. That's how strong and powerful the projection is. Know that you have that empowerment within inside of you. And it's time to walk it. It's time to become it. Being in the moment, being in the silence, being in the humility, being in the patience, being in the trust, experiencing all of it. You will not die. There is no death. There is no death. Your spirit lives on forever. So why not realize that now? Why not walk in that type of balance and neutrality now? Knowing full well that as you trust and you act through your heart, that action will never harm another. If that action is based in a definition of what has to be with expectation, it is not necessarily harming anyone else, but harming your own spirit, causing the density to come into your system, providing the imbalance that is there in the outcome. And once again, freedom is ever present, always present when you choose it, when you choose that balance, when you choose to feel differently. Most of you know the feeling from the intuition and from the heart when it tells you in some capacity to do a certain thing that your ego wants you to do differently. And when you listen to your mind, it doesn't turn out so well. But to let your heart be the opening. It brings a balance to your center, to your creative center. To balance off the bubble. The circle of opposites is the last thing we wish to discuss. Hopefully you have an understanding of that now, a feeling of that. That in the law of karma, what you project out comes back to you. It is not a judgment. It just is the way things are. Whatever energy, vibration you send out comes back to you. In your own bubble, you might say the circle, if you see a circle, it is more of a sphere. The law of opposites says that to balance out myself, to go to the center, whatever I project out, I must feel the opposite as well. It doesn't mean there's going to be harm. It just means that energetically, I must experience all things to find my balance. So to find the highest point of joy frequency in the moment, I might have to feel the lowest frequency of sadness. If I'm overcome by the joy, or I'm overcome by the sadness, and I don't bring balance, I become entrapped by it. I don't see anything different than that. That is not the walk of a master. That is saying one thing is better than another. And it's not true. All things are equal. So in this world, the law of opposites, the circle of opposites says that I will continue to balance myself throughout my walk, throughout my journey as I walk this planet. Always, which means the challenges, the opportunities, the infinite possibilities are always possible to me and will always be there to help me to continue to grow in my consciousness within the center of my body as I walk my walk. And this is the beauty of why you are here. To find your freedom, to feel it completely, to know it is present, to know this is who you are. Your truth is spirit, and spirit experiences all things with no judgment. And as I come into this world, the circle of opposites comes with me, allowing me to find my center. And without experiencing all things, I cannot find my center. So it is a gift. The hardships you have gone through so far is a gift that you have given yourselves, the choices that you have made, because it has provided you the opportunity to see things differently and to experience the other side of whatever that might be. How could you feel and sense it without that? This is the beauty of being human. This is the beauty of being who you are. And aren't you all different? As you meet others, say of like mind, if you will, who are all working hard to find their balance, aren't you all different in the way you do that? In the way you share it with each other is so beautiful. Allow yourselves as best as you can, as this energy is coming in, to not be trapped by expectation, to see it for what it is, to feel it, but to know it does not provide balance. The opposite must be felt as well between the two and finding balance as you walk. Be your truth, be humble, be kind, be patient. Those are the qualities that you're beginning to understand and feel and sense, coming from the other side of the spectrum. Now finding balance in all things. So why don't you go ahead and take a few deep breaths, come back and feel your body. Maybe you don't want to come back, but feel yourself here now, sitting in your chair, lying down, whatever it is that's happening. Allow yourself to come back. And if you wish to talk, don't forget to unmute yourself. I'll give you guys a few minutes here if somebody has to go to the bathroom or whatever. I'm not sure how long. It was an hour.
There we go. All I can say is great wisdom once again. Thanks for sharing it. It was just so powerful, the messages. So much that you need to hear and be reminded of. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, this was a little different in how they should say I don't know how, whatever this entity was that came in. Usually I just feel the energy coming in from above, and this was different. This was like a being of some sort with a bunch of beings behind it, and just kind of this whole light that was around all the beings was being projected by this one that was stepping forward, kind of. And there was no face or kind of even almost a body. It was just like this like, I don't know, just being of light coming towards me, and then just began to speak. So it was different from that perspective. Like you said, Nancy, it felt powerful, just a lot of wisdom that it wanted to share, the group wanted to share. I think, the other sense I had with it also was this feeling of telling us, or telling me that you do have the ability to change what's going on, and not necessarily changing it the way you want to see it, because then that would be an expectation, right? That they were talking about expectation, but just walking the walk that way, just being that way. It doesn't mean we have to do anything to action outside of us, but that it gets projected anyway through consciousness by just being in the moment and continually finding our own balance. So
Yeah.
maybe that's the best way I can explain it, the feeling of it.
Yeah.
Caroline, do you want to come sit over here? Why don't you grab that yoga chair? I'm going to have Carolyn come sit next to me. Lisa had to leave because she's going to be with her son. So Carolyn's going to join me right here, so she can hear and she can speak as well. Oh, she can't hear you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised. But can you hear her now?
I'll be closer.
There you go. Yeah, now we can.
All
Close.
right. What I said was, for me, it was absolutely beautiful, a wonderful reminder of the need to find balance and to continue to live my life that way. I felt high vibration the whole time and just felt the joy of that also.
Mm.
It was full of wisdom
Mhm.
and a really good reminder.
I'm just enormously grateful that I get to be part of this.
Yeah.
Lots is happening for me these days, and this is just another huge reinforcement of that.
Mm.
So thank you. Thank you. I just feel it very deeply. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now yes.
Yes.
Okay. As I was talking before we started, there's this a feeling of when I was on the trip that was very similar to this, where when you're in balance and you're not judging anything and you're just being in the moment, there seems to be a voice is maybe a word I can put to it, a voice that is speaking inside in my heart that is guiding me to be in the moment in ways that I never was before, but
Mhm.
also a voice that I know is mine in a way of just making choices, simple choices that are being made that seem to resurrect, invite situations to happen for people that I wouldn't expect to meet. All of a sudden I meet, to have situations turn out that were impossible to turn out the way they turned out.
Mhm.
To be so hungry in certain situations and know there's no services at all, but yet all of a sudden here's a bar that's open and they are serving food, which wasn't even possible because there was nothing on the map or there was nothing supposedly from people we talked to along the way.
Mm.
How these things happen,
Mm.
to me truly is a direct result of us doing the work internally. Um, and even saying, I'm not gonna judge that it doesn't happen, because that just brings me into a negative state of mind, if you will. But to just say everything, maybe this is the line, everything is perfect just the way it is. Truly, not by words, but a feeling of everything truly is perfect the way it is. Carolyn's cancer is perfect in the way it is. It teaches us and teaches her that there's possibilities of healing that is available to any one of us if we just allow ourselves to say, there's no judgment on the cancer. There's no judgment on how I got the cancer. There's no judgment on me being a poor victim of having cancer. There's nothing. It's just perfect. There's no judgment that, I know, Patty, you hurt a lot, but it's like you falling down the stairs and hurting your ribs is perfect. Sorry. I mean, it's like, yeah, because it's just, it's showing us the possibilities that we get to have too within the circle. The bubble is incredible to me. I don't know if you guys put your hands out, or I did that a couple times. It was like, wow. I was there instantaneously. I could feel it right on the tips of my fingers and so on. It was really something. And to know that I have the opportunity to fill that bubble with whatever I wish to. I can take in all the judgments that people want to have on me and just hold on to it and, let it drown me and so on. Or I can say, yeah, I can take them in, but there's no reason for me to hold on to them. I can feel their judgments. I can feel that, but it's perfect just the way it is. That's the way they're playing out their journey. That's okay. It's like this free flow of vibration that is always available to us. And the only way it stops is when we bring judgment into it. It's crazy. So I'll stop talking. Who wants to talk now? Sorry,
What's
Pat, you didn't make the lesson. What happened to you?
What's that?
I said, sorry, Patty, you didn't want to make it lesson. What happened to you?
Oh, it's okay. I'm just in such an uncomfortable spot, energetically. Not so much the ribs.
Yeah.
So it was a little hard for me to connect today. And feel. Anyway, I don't know what else to say.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. Thanks
You're
for being you, being truthful.
I think you know this, but for the others, I'm really taking my work to a much higher level. And I'm wanting to find words to describe these kinds of phenomena that people can understand and not think that it's just crazy woo-woo, etc. Which I know I have had that same feeling about this sort of thing, 30, 40 years ago. So the contribution I'd like to make is that what came to me today, not in this process, but earlier in editing something I had already written, was the word unfiltered. And that, our higher consciousness, our total openness without judgment of things is really just experiencing what's there unfiltered, without the meanings, and without the negatives or the positives, but it just is what unfolds because everything in the universe is in the universe. Okay, it's all there. And we're being given a gift to connect with it and attune to it and just experience much more of it than I think lots of other people are. So I'm grateful for these monthly things. Therefore, I'm glad you're back from your trip and and look forward to more and more of them. You know, should they conflict with my Oregon Symphony tickets, I regret that, but I'm sure to watch the recordings. So thank you. And a comment about skiing, anytime you get a basic snowfall of 8 or 9 inches that hasn't been groomed and hasn't been damped down, etc., all you want to do is just completely destroy your skis. So what the hell?
Or get destroyed by the ribbon of death, either one.
Oh, yeah, well, that's one and the same.
Yeah.
All things being equal, you lose.
Yeah, right.
By the way, it's been raining and we have been in a really, really serious storm condition out here with heavy, heavy, heavy rains for the last 3 days.
Wow.
And this morning about quarter to 10, it started to snow. Okay. The rain turned to snow. And for about 15 minutes, we just had these kind of globby big snowflakes falling down, and then the rain came back. So it hits the rain hits some cold air on the way down.
Yeah, maybe they'll be coming to us too. Brenda, is there anything you want to share?
It was interesting this morning. I pull an angel card and it's freedom.
Uh,
And my mom always would say to us, your spirit, your soul lives forever. And there's a lot of, and I was just saying to a new spiritual friend I met yesterday, some of the things, that you were just saying, and of course, everything's perfect just the way it is. And you have to experience the really low frequencies to be able to experience the really high frequencies, the things that you've been saying to us all along. So it was all great reminders. The one thing that my ego's like, well, the circle of opposites. So does that mean if things are going great, I'm going to have to experience something really bad again to balance it so I can have that all going on? or vice, if we're going to, the application of circle of opposites, and what does that look like in our daily life? But then it seems like it all just boils down to be in your heart, be in the moment, experience all things without judgment.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
You guys, some of you know me, during Christmas time. I'm a Hallmark freak. So I watch all the Christmas movies on Hallmark, and they're coming out already. And so I've been watching some. And of course, I bring Kleenex with me and stuff and get to feel all the things that are going on and how cheesy they are and all that stuff. But there was one that I listened to earlier today that was really interesting from this one perspective. and it was kind of a new one. And to make a long story short, the grandfather who died had gone to war, and he had met his, say, soulmate before he went to war, and she never got his letters and all this kind of stuff. And finally, he got back and wanted to reconnect, and he went to her house, and she had gotten married in the meantime and had a kid. And so what he wrote, and she ended up showing up at the end of the movie to the grandkid, just to let her know that she did exist. And the line was, it's so sad that you guys never got to meet again. And she says, oh no, she says, one of the greatest things was that he opened up my heart, and I opened up his. And because our hearts were open, we were able to have a full life.
It's beautiful.
So it's almost like the circle of opposites has to take place for us to fully experience life, for us to fully experience who we are here, which is unique for each one of us. But to fully experience it, we have to fully experience life. We have to feel everything that comes with it. And just because you might have had a breakup or a heartache or something like that doesn't mean you're not going to have another one. But my suggestion would be the next one's probably going to be worse than the last one, because it has to drive your heart deeper so it can open itself up more. I think there was I can't remember what the movie was that we used to watch in workshop, but it was like the guy was saying, he says, your heart just wants more and more and more. It doesn't want less. It
Germany,
wants to experience everything you can have.
yeah. Dark hair. Yeah.
And I know these Hallmark things could be a little kooky, but you know what? Some of the lines are pretty profound that are in there. You can draw them out, and it just struck me again that, yeah, I mean, to fully experience life, what does that mean? It means a lot to everyone differently, but it's to really be life, to experience all of it. I have no regrets in my life already. I'm so blessed. I'm so incredibly blessed to have all you people, to have people in my life that I know I can trust and cherish, and that I have places I've gone, and I have great kids, even though some of them are screwed up like everybody else's kids are screwed up. I got to experience how screwed up they are, and I get to experience how great they are. It doesn't matter. It goes both ways. It's a blessing in every aspect of my life, and I so appreciate living my life. I remember there are days back, especially, 30 years ago, where I just said, I don't want to be here anymore. And oh my God, am I glad I didn't follow through on that. That I can experience it so much more now than ever before because of all those other, the circle of opposites, the way it works. It's actually an incredibly beautiful way of looking at it. They really gave us something, I think, that's, okay, so I know I can trust in the fact that if I end up having a very difficult period or a dark period, I know that I just got to keep walking through and experience it, because at the other side is going to be just as beautiful from the other energetic perspective as it was in this. And I get to experience both. Wow, how beautiful that is. And by the way, you all need to go buy a Powerball ticket tomorrow, okay? Because nobody won again.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna buy one.
And since I suggested it to you, of course, I get a piece of it, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, because you suggested.
Because it's only going to be like $1 billion. So, I mean, what's
Yeah.
$1 million at that point to you?
That's right. I have a question for Brenda. Where in Hawaii are you? Or
I'm on Maui. I live in Kihei.
so you're on Maui. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm taking a class, and one of the women in the class, I think, I know she's from Hawaii, and and I think she's in Honolulu. I'll try to find that out for sure. But she's very, very conscious, because this is a class that's really about that. So I just wondered if the two of you might be in the same place, but I don't know for sure. But I'll check and I'll let you know.
Cool. Yeah, I go over to Oahu once in a while. It's not that far away. Cool.
Yep. No,
By plane.
Thanks.
just a short swim away. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Let's get on your paddleboard.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to share?
Yeah, I've had quite a week. And part of that quite a week is that I have come to recognize through 2 or 3 different people and sources and experiences, kind of a core aspect of the industrious overfocus thing that you love so much, Tomei. Okay. And that my identity as a being may have even preceded my days as a Harvard professor, but I have literally spent my life defined as a kind of, I call it a walking, talking encyclopedia. And I have to be an expert. And all these thousands and millions of people across the world think I'm an expert, and they hang on every word if they come to one of the things. And it's like I've let go of that. I mean, it's like I got it. I've done it. It's really too bad that it lasted so long. But in my tender age, I've still got, time to go to experience things differently and be something different. And that's what the new work is about. And I get to embody my new work. And
Nice.
it's quite an adventure. It's really quite an adventure.
Nice.
So, yeah, so we took our run at that again and again and again about a decade ago.
Yeah.
But it just finally took, the right form, just finally came together, and it clicked. And I'm really grateful. It's really been quite a week.
Awesome.
And this is a very, very special part of it.
Nice. Nice.
Feels good.
Doesn't it?
Yep, sure does.
Uh, Anybody else? Okay, well, thank you guys. You guys have a great Sunday, what's left of it, and I will email this as well, and probably it'll be the first Sunday in December. It's my guess. I haven't looked at a calendar yet, but probably be a first Sunday in December. So, but I'll get it out this week for sure.
Don't forget to turn the recording off.
Yeah, we're gonna do it right now.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Tomei. Good to
Okay,
see
you're
everybody.
welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care. All right.